Hi, this is Trevor Sanchez, and this is my presentation on cultural communications for Unit 4 of Interpersonal Communication. So to start off, I have actually interacted with people from other cultures before. I was able to go to Germany and Spain for vacation this summer to visit my aunt and uncle who work at Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany. And one of the big barriers was my inability to speak German. I don't know any German, maybe a few numbers and some greetings here and there, but that's about it. Also, the Germans don't particularly care for Americans. We're not their favorite people, to be honest, and that can make visiting a little bit difficult. But once we got to Spain, it was really cool. I got to use my 4 years of high school Spanish, and I was kind of like a translator for my family, which was really awesome, considering I gave 4 years of my life to that class and finally got to use it. So that was awesome. Some of the cultural communication challenges are accents. I know the international students that live with me, who I'm talking about in this presentation, have really thick accents, and they can't always pronunciate the words correctly, and they can't really gather their thoughts sometimes, and that can make communicating pretty difficult. I didn't really have any time to prepare to meet them, considering the Chinese student was moved in before I was there, and the student from Korea was living in Augsburg but got transferred to our dorm after we figured out that one of our roommates wasn't actually coming back to Concordia. And we found that during move-in week, so that was very exciting. So once I met them, it was kind of awkward at first. The Chinese student came and introduced himself to me first when he was coming out of his room after playing video games, and it was kind of awkward. He really only knew how to say hi, and then he gave me a limp handshake, and it was just really awkward at first. So the conversation was kind of slow before we started to get to know each other, but throughout the semester, just living together and talking, we really started to bond, and it was a great experience. So for me, by meeting these individuals, I really got to learn about their culture and their customs, and what they like to do, what they like to eat. And I think that's really helpful for my career as a nurse, providing that holistic care to my patients and integrating their customs and their preferences into their care will be really important for me. I think one of the big benefits for my international friends was that I could help them with English. Me and my roommate Jason, we both explained things to them when they didn't understand, and we taught them new words that they didn't know. And so I think they've really grown in their English speaking ability, and they've learned some American culture from us. I would get together again with them because I don't really have a choice since I live with them, but I do love hanging out with them. They're really great guys. Like I said, it was kind of awkward at the beginning, but now it's just like any other roommate I've ever had. It's super, super easy living with them. The only complaint I have is that they turn the heat up to 5 in Regents, which will cook you out of your room. But that's really my biggest complaint. And my summary, so 5 things that I learned about them is that Korean family names operate differently than they do in the US. Normally when a woman gets married, she takes her husband's, well, I shouldn't say normally, I should say traditionally, a woman will take her husband's last name. But in Korea, the daughter will take the father's last name, just like we do in America. If I have a girl, her name will be Sanchez until she gets married. But they keep that name throughout their lives. So once they get married, their name will never change, which was kind of a mind-blowing fact to me. Another thing I learned is Patrick doesn't have a car in China. He takes taxis most places, which I thought was really interesting considering I have a car and I really take that for granted because a lot of people don't have cars. It's just, he said the traffic's too bad, it's just too crowded and too expensive to have. So, another thing is Miles is a really good cook and Korean food is really good. He's cooked me a few dishes, some bulgogi, and those were really good, really nice to try, and way better than the calf. Another thing is Patrick wears makeup, and he actually told me that it's more common and I guess you would say accepted for boys to wear makeup in China, and I thought that was really interesting. And they both really like video games. They'll both stay up way too late playing video games, which I think is something that's really similar to American culture, is that a lot of boys love to play video games and stay up past their bedtimes. So that was really neat that they like to do that too, because we bonded over that.